Hello everyone, and welcome to my guide for Kujou Sara. She is adored by many for her role in the Inazuma storyline and her interactions with many characters, namely the Raiden Shogun and Arataki Ito. Her Tengu lineage shows in much more than just her idol animations. Today I'm going to show you ways to make her perform the best she can. Her talents lead into her being a somewhat niche character and with little variety, but there's a decent amount of space to work with. Her normal attack sequence itself is fairly normal. Her charge attack usually is nothing special, but her kit has ways to change that. Her E is a short dash back and makes it so her next charge attack 1 charges faster, and 2 will drop a feather that after a delay calls down a bolt of lightning that does electro damage in AoE and buffs any character hit by it by a percent of Sara's base attack, meaning attack bonuses won't change it. Her elemental burst calls down giant bolts of lightning that spread from the point of impact in 4 directions. The bolt also gives the same buff as the skill to characters hit by them. Her first ascension talent helps her out in a couple of ways. It makes it so that after she uses her elemental skill and has an enhanced charge shot, the shot charges way faster. And her second ascension talent makes it so the lightning called down by her special charge shot regenerates energy for the team based on the amount of enemies hit and her energy recharge. Sara's Constellations are actually all very good and promote a couple of different builds for her. Her first makes it so her elemental skill's cooldown is reduced by a second when it buffs a character. Her second is much better than it seems at first for quality of life. It makes it so when she uses her elemental skill, when she dashes back, a feather is dropped that is hit by lightning after a delay. This does much less damage than her skill, but it applies the same buff as if she charged her shot. This can let her buff herself both for using charge shot or use her skill, switch to someone and use their skill or burst to snapshot the buff, then switch back and use her charge shot or burst to buff another character. Her C3 and C5 are 3 talent levels to her burst and skill respectively. Her C4 makes it so her burst spreads out in 6 directions instead of 4, increasing her AoE damage by a very solid amount. Her last constellation makes it so that when characters buffed by her deal electro damage, they have 60% increased crit damage. The first build I'll go over is highlighting her primary purpose on most teams. That is her role as a buffer for the team. The main thing to do is to maximize her base attack, and the only way to do that is to level her up and choose a weapon with the highest base attack. The single best option is the Skyward Harp, as it has the highest base attack of all bows. It also has good secondary and refinement stats for some extra damage from her abilities. Most of the other 5-star bows also have a high base attacks. Otherwise, the 4-star of choice are the Sacrificial Bow or Moon's Moon if you have them. There are a couple of 4-stars actually tied with them when it comes to the base attack. The best bows that are always accessible are the Prototype Bow and the End of the Line. The best artifact set is easily to run her on 4-piece Noblesse for some team utility. Otherwise, run her with 2-piece Emblem to use her burst more often, and 2-piece of anything to increase her damage, being Thundering or any of the attack percent sets. On the pieces, they don't matter particularly when it comes to buffing, but to increase her own damage, you'd want to go for energy recharge or attack sands, depending on your weapon and ult frequency, electro damage goblet, and a quick crown for whichever stat you need more. The next build I'll go over utilizes her own buff to turn her into a quick swap nuke. The best weapon is still the Skyward Harp, followed by all the 5-stars again. The 4-stars remain the same as well, but the Moon's Moon now dominates the competition due to its damage bonus, followed by the Fading Twilight for the same reason, as well as alleviating some recharge needs through its substat. The best artifact set for this build is the 4-piece Emblem of Severed Fate. The energy recharge and bonus of burst damage are extremely helpful. Otherwise, I'd recommend to run her with any combination of 2-piece Noblesse, 2-piece Thundering Fury, and 2-piece of one of the attack percent sets. On the pieces, first you want to make sure you have enough recharge to use her burst as often as you want on the team. That means running a recharge sands if you need to, or if you're using the Emblem of Severed Fate set, as that converts energy recharge into bonus damage. Otherwise, for the best damage, run her with an attack sands, electro damage goblet, and a crit crown for whatever you need. While writing this, I noticed a trend in these builds, slowly leading to more and more screen time for our Tengu general, which obviously leads to his final build being playing her as a main DPS. This works to be really fun thanks to her first ascension talent, making it so her charge shot charges faster, and there are ways to lower the cooldown to make it happen more often. One way is to run her with the Sacrificial Bow for a chance to immediately get a second charge. The best weapons for damage remain the 5-stars, Really all of them are great besides maybe the Elegy of the End or the Hunter's Path, but with the right teams those are still very high quality options. For 4 stars, I'd recommend the Black Cliff if you have it, or the Prototype Crescent otherwise. For artifacts, there are actually a lot of options. 4-piece Wanderers and 4-piece Thundering Fury tend to lead the pack in my opinion. 4-piece Thundering especially is good, as with reactions it reduces the cooldown on her skill, so you can spam it more often. Otherwise, running her with 2-piece Thundering and 2 pieces of any attack percent is also a very good choice. The pieces in this case are very straightforward: Attack Timepiece, Electric Goblet, and a crit damage crown, since you should be able to hit consistent charge shots on the weak points. Kujou Sara is built for damage, whether that be herself doing the damage or making it so her team does more. She's a very good character for any team looking to just make their numbers bigger, especially Electro at C6, and I'm hoping I showed you how to utilize her kit in the best ways possible. If you found this guide helpful in any way, please leave a like on the video and subscribe for more. If you have any questions, comments, or recommendations, please leave a comment. I love talking about this game, so I'm likely to reply if it's something I could reply to. I look forward to any feedback, and with that, bye everyone, have a great day.